Could there be another Dragon Quest game on the way before we eventually get to Dragon Quest 12? In today's video, we are going to be getting into our speculation and going over quite a few rumors to what I believe might actually be true, but I'm more interested to see your opinion on the matter, so let me know in the comment section below. Do you want or think there'll be a Dragon Quest 7 remake? Because that's the game that's being talked about here, and we're going to dive into everything that we know, and there is quite a bit here. So with that all being said, what is up guys, Jen here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. If you want to support this channel, please hit that like button, and if you want to stick around for some more Dragon Quest content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, the Dragon Quest in question is of course Dragon Quest 7. This originally came out on the PlayStation under Dragon Warrior. I don't even think it came out here in the UK. I think it was only an American release, but then it got re-released on the 3DS, which was then accessible to everyone, but it is stuck on those systems along with Dragon Quest 4 through to 6, which I thought would be the next games that were going to be coming to the platform, because we are in the midst of going through the Erdrick trilogy with Dragon Quest 3, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 coming out later this year. This rumor says that Dragon Quest 7 could be coming out before the end of this fiscal year, which is March 31st, 2026. So we need to break all this down and see what is happening. Now, when it comes down to it, it is speculation. Take it with a grain of salt, but looking at the things that I've dug up and the things I'm seeing here, I think this actually might be real. So bear with me as we break down all of what's going on. And we need to begin with this article coming from MP First. Now, the reporter for this article is not very reliable. When it just came to just this article dropping over the weekend, I didn't want to cover it because I was like, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, and this person is not very reliable. They've not been right in the past. They've got a few good guesses here and there, but things have developed where now I think, hey, this is real. So essentially, they say that they got hold of internal documents in Square Enix, and it says that they are going to be releasing Dragon Quest VII Remake, along with a few other titles, which they don't mention in this article. They really go into detail with the word remake. We know when it comes to Square Enix, they like to use remake in different various scenarios. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a completely different remake than what you would consider from like what Resident Evil did back in the day on the GameCube. But then also when it comes to Dragon Quest, we have the HD 2D remakes, which are HD 2D remakes of those games. They are specifically saying that the wording is just remake, so it's not going to be a HD 2D remake, so they think that it's going to be something a little bit more than that. I don't think this is the case. I think they may have read this document wrong, or what information they have is a little bit wrong, and that it could simply just be a port of the 3DS remake coming to modern platforms, much like Bravely Default has done on the Switch 2. But we'll go into that in a little bit more detail. That's what this article goes over. It seems like they backpedaled a little bit when it comes to the release schedule. They now say that the target release window is Q4 of the fiscal year 2026, which is next year when we eventually get to March 31st, or it's going to be early fiscal year of 2027, which begins in April 2026 and ends in March of 2027. A little bit confusing. They did originally say that it was going to be coming out at the latest early 2026, but now they say at the earliest it's the early 2026. So take that again with a grain of salt, but there is more fuel to the fire when it comes to this, because this was then posted upon Reset Era, and Jason Schreier, a reputable source in the gaming space, chimed in on this, saying that there's a lot of uninformed speculation in this article. Now, let's just pause for a minute. Jason Schreier, the reason I bring this up to where things might become a little bit more interesting is because on the day of the State of Play, where Final Fantasy Tactics Remaster got announced, he put out a post on Blue Sky, something along the lines of Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the best games ever, and then hey ho, we got the remaster announced. So he's definitely in the know, and the fact that he says that there's a lot of uninformed speculation in the article means that this could be happening, but not the way that it's being portrayed in the article. Anyway, someone asked saying, hey, don't do this, Jason. Please tell me that my favorite Dragon Quest is not being remade. And he said he didn't say anything about there not being a remake, which leaves it up in the air. Specifically, we're still talking about Remake. I am in the form of it's so much easier for Square to just do what they've been doing this year when it comes to remakes and remasters, just bringing more games to more platforms for more people to play. Dragon Quest 7 is a weird one. I'm just going off what I've seen online. I'm currently going through the Dragon Quest series, and the last games I need to complete is 7, 9, and 11. I also have had the opportunity to preview various Dragon Quest games with Square, and I've got a great preview of the upcoming Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake if you want to check that out. So I'm very excited to see that there's going to be another Dragon Quest to come, and it makes sense if Dragon Quest 12 is still a little bit far off to bring out a few other titles to fill in the gaps. Maybe another Treasures type game or another Monsters type game, but it seems like maybe they could go dive into the 3DS library and bring the versions of 7, 8, and 9 to modern platforms to fill in a couple of gaps. And I think that might keep a lot of people happy because not everyone's got a 3DS anymore. If you have, let me know in the comment section down below. But anyway, I think I'm going off track just a little bit. This rabbit hole gets a little bit bigger, and it really leads me to believe that this is a thing and it is happening, and we're probably going to see it next year. I don't think it's going to happen early next year. I do think we're going to get a game from Square between the months of January and April. That could be Final Fantasy VII Remake coming out on the Switch 2 and on the Xbox, but I don't think it's Dragon Quest 7. I think that's something that's possibility sometime this time next year, maybe, or at the end of the year, releasing an annual Dragon Quest game every year around the same time, because we got Dragon Quest 3 last year, we're getting Dragon Quest 1 and 2 this year. Seeing Dragon Quest 7 being thrown into the mix would be nice, and that's why I do think that the 3DS version being remastered for modern platforms, upscale it to 4K, rework some of the textures and everything like that, I think it'll keep a lot of people happy, and it'll be definitely a game that I would like to play, even though I've heard that it's quite a lengthy game, but I heard that the 3DS brings some good features to streamline a lot of that. Anyway, back to this rabbit hole. Now, I'm going to tie this into the Final Fantasy IX remake speculation that we've been going over for years now, but there is a Reddit user under the name Tomato, wherever you come from, 314, who posted about Final Fantasy IX's remake 3 months before we got a certain reveal of a vinyl. So they seem to work in a PC port type business, or they have access to lists of upcoming PC ports, much like what we got with the Nvidia leak list and the Epic Games list when it comes to Final Fantasy IX. Seems like they work somewhere similar, where there is a database that is constantly getting updated. They seem to be leaking this information to a certain degree. Anyway, they said 3 months before the vinyl was announced that they have something cropped up on their database that says Final Fantasy IX Timeless Tale Remake, and then the vinyl finally got announced with that title. They doubled down and said, well, where I work doesn't make any sense for it to be music related, because a lot of the things I work with is when it comes to games, I guess specifically PC ports. The reason this is important, this Tomato guy, because 2 weeks before this rumor of Dragon Quest 7 came to light, they mentioned on a random Reddit post that they had an update to their database. They say that they see Kingdom Hearts in their database now, Kingdom Hearts 4 specifically. I don't think we're going to hear anything that until mid next year, personally, but they said that they have something crop up on that database that says DQ7, and they say that means there's probably a PC port that's coming soon. Then they also replied to a post saying that Dragon Quest X is also on that database list. So maybe finally they might be bringing Dragon Quest X to the West, whether that's the offline version or the online version. I guess we could speculate, but we're going to focus on Dragon Quest 7 here. This adds to this fire that we're creating when it comes to Dragon Quest 7, because they called this 2 weeks before the Dragon Quest 7 rumor came to light and people started to talk about. So the conclusion I'm coming to, that maybe sometime next year, and I think we'll find out about this for Dragon Quest Day next year, along with a possible Dragon Quest 12 trailer, is that Dragon Quest 7 is getting a remaster, the 3DS port specifically, for next year. Could we see it early next year, like between January and April? It doesn't really make sense to me because it's so close to Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake being released at the end of October. I can't see that like 3 months, 4 months later, they're going to be releasing another Dragon Quest game. So I'm going to now settle in the camp of we are getting a Dragon Quest 7 3DS Remake remaster port on modern systems. Hopefully it's not a Switch 2 exclusive for everyone to enjoy. Maybe a Dragon Quest 7S or something along those lines, and we'll be seeing it around this time next year, maybe the October-November slot that Dragon Quest games, especially their number titles, has been getting ever since Dragon Quest 3. But again, this is all speculation, but it's been fun to talk about. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this rabbit hole we've been diving down. Very interested to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Do you think this is real? Do you think this is a load of fluff? Do you think there might be something to it? Do you think they could be doing something like this? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Let me know. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.